everybody. Welcome back to the Damn Yankees podcast produced by Seven Ashes Productions. It's Thursday, June 15th, and we are here to talk about Ryan's power rankings today and things going around in the MLB. Or in MLB. We're not doing Yankee-specific bitching today. We'll hold that until Monday. They played the Mets, and now they're off to go play the Red Sox, and so
we'll see.
We'll see. We will see. Coin flip right now about how we might feel on Monday. So, without further ado, we could get into it then. Power rankings.
Right.
Right? Oh.
Ryan's MLB Power Rankings.
All
right. So kind of similar to last week, I want to do bottom five first, if that's fine, because I think there's more to talk about as usual when we get to the top 10. So starting off in fifth to last is the Colorado Rockies. They are in 26. I think they moved up a spot from last week. They're a team that, again, we talked about it last week. They don't really have a whole lot of talented pieces. A lot of the pieces that they had tried to bring in after Trevor Story had left haven't really panned out, like Chris Bryant. And there's really not much to talk about. They're kind of just a boring, bad team. 27th place is where we got some new movement for our bottom five.
All right.
They went from the worst team in the league to the second worst team in the league. And in the last week, they have like one of the best records in the league. So the Oakland Athletics have moved up 3 spots to number 27. They still don't have a great record. They're still not as bad as some of the teams below them, but they're a team that is at least topical at the moment. There's a lot of things going on with the Oakland Athletics.
And they won 2 games against the Rays.
Won 2 games against the Rays. I think they swept the team prior to that. They went like 7 straight games of winning.
I think it was 7 straight that they ended up winning.
They lost last night.
Yeah.
But to beat the Braves or the Rays, that's something that the Yankees haven't even accomplished yet. A lot of teams have not accomplished that. So, I mean, that's huge for the Oakland Athletics. They're still not a good team, but they're having a good run of this week, and they deserve to not be in last place for at least 1 week. But there's a lot to talk about. We don't have to go into super long detail, but I think you mentioned it, that the A's were having a reverse boycott. You mentioned on Monday. That happened on Tuesday. What were your thoughts on that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the reverse boycott was really cool. I was wondering if they would actually show out in numbers, and they really did. I think it was close to 30,000 at the ballpark, where they've been getting like 800 people at the ballpark or something crazy.
I think their attendance is lower than most like minor league teams.
Yeah, right. I think there have been several minor league teams that have beat them for attendance like easily.
I mean, probably most of AAA beats them on a daily basis. Maybe true. Like even some single A, rookie A teams probably could be beating them too.
Yeah, I mean it's been really sad. 1,000. Yeah, and they've been boycotting the whole season. They've been boycotting the actual game. So that's why their attendance is really low because, I mean, even when the A's haven't been doing well, their fans show up. Maybe not in great numbers like they did on Tuesday, but they still show up to the ballpark. So they have been boycotting because the owner hasn't been putting any money into the franchise and wants to move it to Vegas, which is basically in the works. So this reverse boycott was really cool. I thought, to show them like, yeah, we're here. We're just pissed and we don't want to show up to your ratty ass ballpark because you're not fixing it. And we think it's crap that you don't want to invest in anything in Oakland and you want to move to a really small stadium in Vegas. I mean, even Harper said that he thought the A's should stay in Oakland, and Harper and I say even Harper because he's a Las Vegas native.
Yeah.
So, like,
Well, and what's even funnier is today Mansfield got
Mansfred.
Mansford, sorry. Mansfred got I had that on
Yeah,
my
he
notes
doesn't
just
deserve you to say his name correctly. Give him.
um
We can go back to
he
Mansfield.
was in an interview today talking about it, and it got some people pretty heated, including the Oakland mayor. But before that, his take on it was, I mean, it was great. It is great to see what is this year almost an average MLB crowd in the facility for one night. That's
Yeah.
a great thing. I don't.
What?
Maybe I'm throwing in the tones here, but as you
No, I
read it,
don't.
there is very much a condescending, like, great job. You put up an average
Yeah, like
attendance
what?
for a night. Ooh, good job. That
Yeah.
was great protest. Great thing that you got
Yeah.
going there.
Yeah,
And
like
then the
I'm
rest of
for.
the time, he was like basically gaslighting Oakland to say that you guys never put in a
Yeah, like
bid, and like, I feel sorry for the fans, but I hope that they become
that.
fans of another team at some
That
point.
was such a kick in the pants. Like, are you serious? Like, well, yeah, like I feel sorry for them, but I hope that they remain baseball fans, whatever franchise they associate themselves with in the
Yeah,
future. Like, you're doing nothing to keep these fans. I mean, I saw a few, I mean, I know it's like one off or two off Twitter posts, but people saying there goes my baseball fandom. I mean, I'm sure this is very similar to the 1994 strike to Oakland fans. Like, this is going to kill baseball for them. They Why would they want to invest into another team? Like
yeah.
the team that has been there
And
for.
Oakland's been dealing with this for every team that's there.
Yeah, I mean, right. Every franchise, like football and
Yeah.
basketball, and yeah,
Football
yeah,
also left for Las Vegas. The Warriors moved across town. They're not as bad. They just needed a new stadium. They moved cross town over,
yeah.
um, across the bay, basically. But
But now it's more
the
San
Oakland
Francisco,
Athletics
right?
are the last team
So it's
in
like,
Oakland.
and it's not like a newer stadium like the Diamondbacks, or I mean, a newer, like it's not like an expansion team from the new era. This is a team that's been there since what, the '60s, '70s, like
Been there for a
some.
while. I know that
They've
they
been there
moved
for
from Philly.
right.
Um,
That's right.
it was founded in Philly and then eventually moved its way over to Oakland.
Definitely at least the '70s that it's been there since, and like so they have a rich history and of winning. It's only really recently that they've been asked, and it's because of this owner.
Yeah.
And I think I saw somebody post that like Eric Chavez was like the last big contract the Oakland A's have given out, and that was over 10 years ago.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah, because basically what they tend to do is they get a lot of great prospects because they are bad. So they get to draft really high. Um, and then once these guys get into their team, they're a young, exciting team. Like, they just go through this ebb and flow for the last since the beginning of this millennium. They have these exciting players. Like back in 2000, it was Giambi, Damon, their closer. They all left in 2001, and then that's when Moneyball kind of came into play. But Moneyball really hasn't been part of their strategy anymore. It's just build up on prospects. Once those prospects reach the end of their arbitration, where they basically have full control of the player, they trade them in their last year of that before they would become an official unrestricted free agent. And you
just
know,
do it again.
and then they repeat the process. I mean, that's basically what happened. We talked about it last week. Matt Olson came from that group. Sean Murphy came from that group. Sean Manea, Montas, though he hasn't been great for us. But Marcus Simeon, who's been amazing for the Texas Rangers, a early MVP caliber type role in the first part of the season. So that's just what they do. They get rid of their best players. I imagine
Mm.
Ramon Laureano would be next there. So it's disappointing that that's what they do with their team.
Yeah, I mean, and they have been doing that since, like, a little bit since the early 2000s. I remember, like you said, like Johnny Damon, Jason Giambi, Jermaine Dye. I mean, he got injured, but
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 almost
like
like
all these
it's what
players,
they
they like,
don't want that to happen again. You know what I mean? Because
true,
all
but
those players left as free agents, they didn't trade them. So
oh,
now
I
they
see
just
what you
trade
mean.
them
I
prior
see
to
what you
that
mean.
their free agency.
Okay, yeah, yeah, and it was because all of those people, they didn't keep them clear, and so they let them walk. And basically, well, except Jason Giambi, we joked that I remember joking that he was like a curse on the Yankees because we never won. But um,
All
the
those
other
guys
ones
had
went
success
off.
outside.
Yeah, they had success, and they went on, and some of them went on to win World Series championships with other teams, and so that's
And
just
that's the same thing that's happening here, right? I mean, Matt Olson,
yeah,
I mean, he hasn't won a championship yet with Atlanta because he came in to replace Freddie Freeman.
right.
But
But they certainly have a
they are one of
chance,
the
and
best. They
they're
are the
yeah,
best team in the NL. They've definitely had
yeah,
players that have gone to other teams, of contenders, help make them into World Series teams. So,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's
So
disappointing if you're an athletics fan. It's definitely disappointing. It's also disappointing to see the commissioner not, um,
just kind of poo pooing the whole
yeah,
thing, and not
yeah,
giving
kind of,
like a genuine like just it's just such a canned answer. It's just awful.
yeah,
And like, and the whole way they've gone about this too, because like, like you mentioned, the mayor, clapped back at, Manfred
Manfred. Yeah,
or
Manfred said that Oakland hadn't put in any like
any kind of
what's the
bid
owner
or
supposed to do? The Oakland won't put in a bid for a new
we need
stadium.
we need the community to also chip in for a new stadium. And also found this interesting from I think it was the ESPN article, because they were saying like there was no concrete proposal or discussion in Oakland, blah blah blah, like that's what they said. And then like the reality is the A's ownership had insisted on a multi-billion-dollar 55-acre project that included a ballpark, residential and commercial and retail space. In Vegas, for whatever reason, they seem satisfied with a 9-acre leased ballpark on leased land. If they had proposed a similar project in Oakland, we feel confident a new ballpark would already be under construction. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
so
it's
it's like they're
obvious
just
that the
being,
one that they wanted in Oakland is a bigger version of what they did in Atlanta.
yes,
Um,
that was my impression too. Yeah.
but what's the whole purpose of you saying that we need to go to Vegas if you're just going to go and get a leased
Not yeah,
ballpark
this
there?
9-acre leased land that has 30,000 capacity for uh fans.
Fans.
I think most
Yeah, it's supposed
ballparks
to
are
be the
somewhere in like
smallest park
45 to
in the league.
50. Yeah, like
And from what I saw, the dimensions on the field, and I could be wrong, but it actually looks like the field dimensions are basically just the Oakland Coliseum,
oh,
like the on
interesting.
field,
Right.
which I don't really like. Like if you're going to build a
I
new
don't like
stadium,
that
wherever you're
either.
building a new stadium, like that was a football stadium moved
Right, that's
into
why
a
it's so
baseball field. That's why
weird.
it looks
Like, yeah,
weird.
that's why there's so much foul territory and
Yeah,
like that. It's just really, really disappointing. It I
yeah,
just can't believe the way Manfred. He's the worst commissioner
yeah. He
in my
makes a lot
memory.
of bad decisions, and
Yeah, yeah.
as much as
So
I've liked some of these new rules that have come about, he just always finds a way to, you know, take one step forward and two steps back when it comes to
yeah,
being
he's
a
really out of
genuine.
touch, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, moving on. I mean, the A's, that's definitely a big story there. We could probably do an entire podcast just talking about the A's in that history. But moving on, the Nationals don't move at all. They stay at number 28. Again, kind of a similar thing with the Colorado Rockies. Unfortunately, they just don't have a lot going for them. They do have some young stars that just have not, especially that they got through the trade from Soto, that just have not produced yet. CJ Abrams or Adams, I think it's Abrams, has not really produced well at this level yet. Neither has Cade Cavalli.
mm,
Um, but anyway, yeah, they stay at number
yeah,
28. The biggest droppers of this week are my number 29 team. That's the St. Louis Cardinals. They have taken many losses. This is a team that we didn't talk about last week. We were talking a little bit about trade deadline stuff, but this is a team that I expect to be cleaning house if things don't turn around rapidly soon. I mean, we're in mid-June at this point.
Yeah.
July's right around the corner, and if they are not on the upward trajectory where they're winning 6 out of 4, 7 out of 3 games consistently in a 10-game periods, I don't see this team ever fighting their way back into anything. Their pitching has not been great. When their pitching is doing well, they're not hitting. It's like that imperfect storm, right? Like when they hit, they don't pitch.
Yeah.
When they pitch, they don't
pitch,
hit.
they can't hit. Yeah.
Yankee fans know what that was like, sometimes this year, but in other years.
Especially like 2001 or
2008.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, fans are salivating right now over like Nootbaar and Arenado.
Arenado. I expect Arenado to get traded. He's an MVP caliber type player. Goldschmidt could be traded. He's an older player who they might be looking to move to.
You are a New York Yankee. No. We love our old guys.
Yeah. He definitely, and he still is hitting really well. So any team that does get him is
home run leader last year, right? Or for the NL,
I think MVP last year too, right?
That's right. Yes, MVP last year. Yeah.
So I do expect those guys to be traded. They are going to need to rebuild. I don't know if Contreras will be traded. He's only been there for half a year, but I do expect a lot of their stars to be.
Yeah, there was rocky issues with him and the team at the beginning of the year.
So it could be possible they might, decide, hey, half a year is enough for this.
It's not working out. Yeah. So we'll see with them.
Yeah, I expect the St. Louis Cardinals to do a fire sale on their team. They're going to need to get new prospects. They're going to need to change the direction of this team for the future. So,
Yeah.
And then in last place, because they have not actually been playing very well either, they also lose their best player on their team for the season, Vinny Pasquantino.
Oh, I didn't know
beloved
that.
Italian baseball player. Broke his forearm, I believe, yesterday.
That's awful.
So he is out for the season. And with that, Kansas City moves into last place. So that's our bottom 5, and now we can move into our top 10.
Well, before we do that, I just want to see, or I just want to mention Jeff Passan. I don't know how to say his last name. The guy from ESPN that roasts people on Twitter a lot, baseball analyst. But did you see his tweet? It's like as mediocre as the Mets and the Padres are, there is a thunderstorm going on. I don't know if anybody can hear, but it's loud.
I'm pretty sure we'll be able to cut that out.
Okay.
So they won't know what you're talking about.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm just crazy. That's fine. Anyway, sorry. Tweet. As mediocre as the Mets and the Padres have been this season, no team comes close to the St. Louis Cardinals in terms of downright disappointment. They are a disaster. 5 straight losses, a 27-42 record, the worst in the National League, better than Oakland and Kansas City.
Yeah. They have been really bad. There was moments this season where you thought that they were starting to get it, and then this week, like he pointed out, 5 straight losses. I think they only had 1 win in the last week that we've done this ranking, and they're just a bad team. Like you said, if Oakland and Kansas City weren't playing historically bad right now, they would be the worst team. And it's disappointing because preseason we had them as the best team in the NL Central.
Well, you just rattled off a bunch of players that should be
stars,
like,
yeah.
It's
crazy too because it's not like Arenado or Nootbaar or Carlson. They're one of their other outfielders. Goldschmidt. It's not like any of these guys are playing bad. Wilson Contreras is probably playing pretty bad for his standards, but
right.
Yeah, they're just
that's true.
Together.
Something's not gelling. A lot of people, not to belabor the point about the Cardinals, but I know I'd seen a lot of things about, people rumbling that them getting rid of Bader, actually like trading Bader to the Yankees, really kind of screwed up their whole team. Yeah, like whether it was
Bader
the vibe with
like
the team
a really
or
good, vibes type of player.
He's definitely a good vibes guy, and then his defense just adds a tremendous,
level to the
level to
team.
your outfield. I mean, you're just he is on an absolute other level. So, I mean, I know I was not too thrilled about the trade, but I certainly think the Yankees, even though Bader's been on the IL twice this year, I think the Yankees won that trade with Monty. But anyway, we can go into the top 5 now. Or top
All right,
10,
so
whatever it is.
top 10. So we're going to go to top 10. We're going to start off with Los Angeles, but not the Dodgers. So real quick to start off, the 10th and 9th team make it into the top 10 because our 11 and 12 teams really had bad weeks. The Dodgers, I believe, are 3-7 in the last 10 games. Even worse in the last 7 games for them. I think they are 2-5, maybe 1-5, something like that in the last week. They've been pretty bad since they played the Yankees. Their Aaron Judge curse has followed them for the last week, and the Brewers have also been bad. They fall out of first place to the Pirates. We've been talking a lot about how bad the AL Central is. NL Central not too much better. They also have a team there for both the Centrals have teams that are only 2 games above 500, leading their division, whereas in both leagues there are teams that are outside of the wild card currently that are better than those division leaders. But anyway, because those guys were not very good, the Los Angeles Angels make it back in. They have been winning pretty well. I mean, Shohei, I think, hit like a 480 something foot bomb.
Yeah, I think he hit 2 over 450 in back-to-back games.
Yeah. I mean, Shohei is
stupid.
is stupid good. He's a guy that I wish and hope the Yankees will sign next year, but that is a lot of wishing and hoping. But the Angels make it back in the top 10. They've been playing very well together. Toronto, they kind of have a back and forth week. I know there was some controversy today. Obviously, the power rankings were made before this morning. They're made this morning before today's game, but
Toronto's playing the Orioles, so they're having a meltdown because they're losing to a good team because they're better than Toronto. I mean,
Toronto doesn't like it when people prove that their movie isn't very good. So, but again, they make it in because other teams are not really doing well. Like they are, and they are doing well enough right now to be in the top 10.
I mean, they are 38 and 32. They're not like the worst. Like they're a few games over 500. They are 11 games out, but they've got Tampa in their division. So
Toronto moves back into the top 10. Both teams moving up 2 spots. Another team moving up 2 spots that's been really exciting. Is the Miami Marlins. We talked about them a bit last week. I do believe Luis Arias' batting average has dropped back below 400, but still an exciting player.
Oh, my God.
I saw a hilarious meme. So we talked about Moneyball earlier, and there's a scene that is pretty famous where Jonah Hill is going over with Billy Beane some of these weird misfit toy type players that it's like, this guy has all these great stats, but no one wants to sign him because his arm slot when he pitches is weird. Someone did they made a tweet where they were kind of parroting that when it comes to Luis Arias, and then someone on TikTok took that tweet and did an imitation of it in Jonah Hill's voice. And it was pretty good. They had the music going, and it was basically like, Billy, this is Luis Arias. He's the first hitter to be hitting over 400 since Tony Gwynn, and the best pure bat-to-ball hitter that this league has seen in many years. His defect, he has a couple of blue circles in MLB Savant page. And so if anybody who doesn't know what the Savant page is, it's something that a lot of new baseball fans like to use as the holy grail Bible of, is a player good or not, which it only is basically it takes, rather than stats, it takes percentile of how players play. I think we talked about
up against the other league, and so
how hard they hit a ball, how how fast the ball goes out of the park, how often they make contact. Luis Ariz has a few like that are like 1 or 0 when it comes to like
he's got
power,
like one of the lowest like exit velos, right? And like so like people don't, people equate the exit velos as amazing, but it's like Giancarlo Stanton just hit a 118-mile-an-hour ground ball to the shortstop and a easy double play because of how fast it got to the shortstop. So like it doesn't
always indicate
it's just that alone doesn't say great player, and just that alone doesn't mean you can't hit. Right. So
and I saw another person going over like that he's got one of the slowest bat speeds in the league, and just imagine how great of a player he'd be if his bat speed was faster. And it's just like, well, that's
his kind of batting
the reason
average.
Why his batting speed is slower because he's a great contact hitter. He's slower to the ball, which means that he can,
he's in the zone longer.
Faster, he's in the zone longer. The bat's going through faster is less likely of contacting the ball where you want it to. So anyway, I don't.
In June 15th, the man's batting average is 378. That's still a good thing. Like it's still a good thing. And the problem is, ever since everybody noticed in the last 7 games, his batting average is 207. So that's always the thing with this. I think, you don't know, is it because people are getting recognition and people are saying it that, the streak or whatever it is stops, or is this just natural course of baseball and this was going to happen anyway? But, anyway. Yeah. So,
it's the, thing, like even with, Cole, right? Like he started off the season 7 straight games, not giving up a home run, really great ERA, and then all of a sudden, the home runs start coming. He is a guy who allows home runs. He is a guy who allows home runs when he pitches. He throws upwards of almost 100 miles per hour, which means people are going to hit the ball harder, hit the ball farther when Cole is on the mound. So the fact that he went 7 games without giving up a home run means he's going to average back out to the mean, like his typical average. Kind of the same with what's going on with the Rise right now. He's still a great hitter. Just 400 was absurd.
Crazy.
And now he's kind of going back down toward the mean. But 270 is still very high, and it does not mean...
207. So.
Hold on. Sorry. I lost you for a second there. You still have me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. LG got a call on her phone and sent it to the laptop. So, so it kind of messed up my screens a little bit. But anyway, I went on a long tangent with the Marlins last week, and I guess I did again this week. I just really like Luis Ariz. He's just an interesting player. Him going down to 278 does not mean that he can't get back up to 400, but there's a reason why nobody has done it since 1941, because it's very difficult to do.
Yeah, it's extremely. Pitching is very, batting is very hard. Hitting a ball is very hard.
So the Marlins, they could be one of those teams that are buyers because they are so close and playing so well. They could be one of those teams that are buyers, add in pieces that are going to boost them maybe up and get them a solid lock into the playoff hunt. The Yankees are my number 17. They do fall down 2 spaces. It's been a difficult week, but one of the things that I think Yankee fans can do a lot, and it's it's fine because we're passionate fans. Like when we start to lose, we want to say that they're the worst team in the league. When they win a couple games in a row, they are better than the Tampa Bay Rays. But in all reality, I think we are the 7th best team in the league, even with a little bit of the skid that we've had. A lot of this is because of Aaron Judge being out. We split the series against the Mets. Again, another series that's winnable in our case, where we could have swept or we could have won the series. In this case, you'd have to win both. You have to sweep to win the series.
Yeah, the first game had you feeling like things were great. Offense was back. Second game was like, what happened?
Yeah.
happened. But IKF
And
did steal home, which we will go into great detail on Monday because that
yeah,
was
it was a
awesome.
great play. We'll also go into detail a little bit about the outfield, but just in a, you can tell where the Yankees are losing, where the Yankees are struggling when it comes to having Bader and Judge not out on the field. I think IKF made a errant play in center field. Bowers made a couple, including the play that ends up being the game winner.
Yeah, and like as we talked about too, like those plays, like we're not sure, like does that play get on average get made, or like because the IKF play was a ball hit off the wall. I just feel like Bader would have got it, but Bader's amazing and
Right. Yeah.
not
So not even an
normal.
errant play, just one of those plays that's like if Bader was there,
Probably goes
that
differently.
happens.
And then two went to
Bauer,
Bowers that Judge most likely gets. He
yeah, I
takes
mean,
much better
especially in
routes
the
on the ball.
Bowers one that ended the game, right? Like, because it is so eerily similar to the one that the Dodgers had that almost got them catapulted back into the game that JD
Sure.
Martinez hit toward the wall, and Bowers just couldn't track it down. That's a play that, I'm sure Judge tracks down. Now, that's not to say that Judge and Bader in the game, we win that game for sure. It changes how things go. But Judge and Bader are certainly being missed um, by the Yankees right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, to continue on, because I know we're kind of passing time at this point. The Astros fall a little bit. I think they had I forget who they played, but they didn't play well this week. So
Okay.
um, so they fall down a couple spots as they've been just struggling. Like they have weeks that they're really good. They look like the World Series contenders that they were last year, the World Series champions they were last year, and then times where they just look like they can't really hit as consistently. They are a team that is getting older. They do have some young pieces. I don't expect them to fall out anything. It's just kind of like the Yankees. They have their good weeks, they have their bad weeks right now. Arizona has not had many bad weeks since the beginning of the season. I talked about how they were a team that was really um, putting things together as far as like they really adjusting to the new rules really well. They have a younger team, and we had mentioned I think in preseason that younger teams might handle the rule changes better because they were more accustomed to it from being in the minors, and that seems to be the case when it comes to the Diamondbacks. They've adjusted really quickly, really well to it, and I mean Corbin Carroll, other than that one play where I think there was two
He
outs
forgot there
and he
were,
thought that
yeah.
there was two there
He,
was he thought there was three, not there was two, and he
yeah.
allowed a run to score. But outside of that, people have been considering him as an MVP, and this kid is just a rookie.
Yeah. Right.
So
Yeah.
they got a lot of things working really well over there in Arizona. I think Zach Gallen has been pitching very well for Arizona.
Yeah. At the beginning of the season, people were like, who's that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Again, I said it, I think, in a different podcast that, Yankees use this for inspiration. The Diamondbacks got rid of a $28 million waste of space on their organization. Maybe it's time to do something similar. Um, Speaking about DFA and Yankee players, talking about Baltimore Orioles. This is a case where and Hicks has been bad for the Yankees for the better part of 3 years now. He had a great 2018. The 2018 game-saving catch he had against the Twins was something that I don't think many Yankee fans should forget.
no,
I certainly don't. I think it was a great play. But
it's probably the pinnacle of
um,
his Yankee
it,
career. But
all of a sudden, the narrative is coming up that Hicks basically in his 12 games he's played with the Orioles has gotten on base in all 12 games, which is great. I'm actually excited for him. He's hit a couple home runs for the Orioles. He's been a productive bat for the Orioles. He gets the Orioles back, not just him, but I think Gunnar Henderson, real quick while we're talking about massive home runs, hit a ball into their Monument area.
oh wow,
Not Monument Park like the Yankees have, but they have basically anytime someone hits the outfield, they pass right field bleachers and they hit it onto Utah Way. which is a street behind the stadium, like outside of the park. They get like a little plaque monument there.
Okay.
And
I know what
so
you're talking
Gunnar
about.
Henderson, a rookie for them, hit a ball out to that. So obviously they have other
That's
players that are
impressive.
being productive, but Hicks is one of the names that is being talked about just because he had been playing bad with the Yankees. He'd been booed a lot by the
He
Yankees,
was
cheered a lot,
DFA'd,
and
and
he got
yeah.
DFA'd, and now he's producing. So people are blaming Yankee fans. Baltimore
Yeah.
Orioles have done the same thing when it came to Chris Davis back in 2017. The guy was, I think, a 2015 MVP and then couldn't hit anything, and he was being booed mercilessly every time he was at bat. Same thing with Hicks. He just was not producing for us. I am glad that he's producing for the Orioles, not in the sense because the Orioles are better than us right now, but
Right. Like you don't want
I
him
don't
to,
I don't wish him bad. It was
yeah,
he needed to be off the
removing the
team.
fandom. Yeah. I'm glad that I'm glad he has found success somewhere else. It was past time for Hicks to be gone from New York. He wasn't handling it well. If the boos were getting to him,
That's on him.
sorry,
Yeah.
but sorry, not sorry. Like you're not performing well. You're so sad and mopey on the field that when you miss a ball, you miss the fact that it's not a foul ball and you've let 2 runs score because you're moping. Like
Yeah.
that.
Or just this year alone when he's on the base path and um, he was in a pickle and he gave up on the pickle and didn't realize that the third baseman or whoever was coming on the third base side had booted the ball and didn't realize it because he had his head down until he picked his head up, saw that the ball was booted, tried to run, but by
Right.
then it was too
I
late.
forgot about that.
So
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm not
like
trying
it's
to
just
trash on Hicks. It's just there's a
his
reason he was
mindset at this especially this year was,
not
you
good.
know, yeah, that can get to anybody. And whether or not the Yankee fans overly booed them, I really don't think him. I really don't think so. After 3 years of dealing with just,
Being unproductive and
yeah,
on top of that not taking accountability for that,
right. I
being
think,
multiple times blaming Boone, which I'm not a big Boone fan, but blaming Boone when he shouldn't be blaming Boone, blaming the Yankee fans, blaming the organization, blaming anybody but him. I've only seen
yeah,
one time where he's taken some accountability and I applauded him for it, but even multiple times after that he was not
yeah.
taking it.
Just,
So
yeah, New York was
yeah,
not for
but
him anymore. So good for him for finding success in Baltimore over 12 games. Also, like,
yeah.
let's remember, this is 12 games. Maybe this is just a surge because it's a change of environment.
Yeah, and it
I
could
don't
be.
wish him poorly, but like,
Gallo did the same thing when he
yeah,
went to
exactly.
LA.
That was what I was gonna say. And like Gallo started out in Minnesota this year, tearing it up, and
Yeah,
he has certainly come back down to earth.
he's under
So
200 again this year.
yeah,
He's
I hear
definitely hitting
it.
more productively, though. I mean, I think he's got like
Well, sure, you
24
couldn't do as,
RBIs, but
yeah. I mean, you couldn't be, I would hope, worse than he ended
yeah,
up being
in New
as a
York.
Yankee. But yeah. So,
But
but anyway, good
yeah,
for
they did have
Hicks.
a really good week. Hicks has had a good 2 weeks with the Orioles. Orioles move up 3 spots. They were one of my three, tied for my three highest movers. The Orioles, Oakland Athletics that we had mentioned, and also the Reds. The Reds have had, just real quick, the Reds have had still an exciting week. We talked about them last week, moving up a lot. They are, again, one of the biggest movers this week. Ellie De La Cruz has continued to shine there. I think he outran a ball he was on third base. Ball was hit to shortstop. A typical player, even with someone with speed, isn't even going to attempt to go home when it's a decently hit ball to shortstop. Ellie De La Cruz, being a rookie who maybe not know better, but also may know his speed, went for it and he was safe. Helped
Yeah,
rally the Reds to win. So they are another team
he's
that
very
has
exciting.
moved up very
Yeah.
well. A team that moved down this week is the Texas Rangers. They played the Rays and they lost that series to the Rays.
Insane to me that the Rays can beat the Rangers, but then they
But then they
lose
can't beat
any
Oakland. That's
games to
baseball.
to Oakland. That is
That's
baseball.
baseball. How can you not be romantic about baseball?
That's right.
But yeah, so Texas falls down a spot after having not a bad week, but not not as good as the Atlanta Braves, who had an amazing week. They did get to play the Tigers, but man, those Tiger games were exciting. I don't know if you got to see them, the doubleheader day.
I
First
didn't.
game, the Braves went up to a big lead, and then they lost the lead. Or actually, no, I think it was reversed. I think the Tigers went out to a big lead to start, and then the Braves stormed back and ended up winning the game. And then in the second game of the doubleheader, the Tigers started off poorly. Braves were hitting kind of like they were at the end of the game, and then the Tigers stormed back, hitting some home runs. I think Melky Cabrera hit a home run as well. Um, and both games, though, the Tigers ended up losing. And I mean, the Braves are just a really good team. They found a way to come back, and it's sad for Dad's team, but the Braves are the best team in the NL for a reason, and so they moved back up to number 2, where they were at for most of the season to begin the year, because nobody can seem to take down Tampa. They came so close so many times, and now Tampa looks back to the way they were playing before, outside of the Oakland series.
Which, to just correct, I didn't realize it was a 4-game series, so they split it.
Oh, they did split it. So
yeah,
but still, not what you would want as a Rays fan there.
No,
but
I mean,
I don't think many Rays fans are.
If the Yankees split a 4-game set against the A's, meltdown, absolute meltdown. Like,
I don't know if the Rays are too upset. If they are wiping their tears with the best record in
they're not upset at all. No.
And they're the best record in the league by 5 games.
Are they? Yeah.
There's 7 wins.
I haven't checked, but I believe, yeah.
Yeah, they're 7 wins up on the Rangers, Braves, and Orioles, and they are 3 games less losses. So that's like 4.5 games up. So anyway, that is the power rankings. The Rays stay on top. I think they've been on top for, since week 3. So
yeah, they've been on top for a while now. So somebody come for them. Somebody knock them down. Wish it was the Yankees.
Wish it would be the Yankees. But I think that's 8 straight weeks that the Rays have been number 1. They've been number 1 for 9 of those 11 weeks that we've played baseball. So Rays are a really good team. They are the team that plays Moneyball better than anybody else.
True.
We keep referring to Moneyball a lot. Moneyball was originally done by Billy Beane, the movie. Yeah, watch the movie.
But Rays are going to Ray, and they're they figure out a way to win all the time with a really, really small budget.
And that's what Moneyball is all about: is teams with lower budgets playing more to statistics and team chemistry.
Well, and I really do think team chemistry is undervalued, especially by like fans who just think that just get all the stars. Like, look at the Padres. They've got
Padres are a mess right now, and they have all the stars.
They have all the stars.
Everybody was expecting that everybody's just saying that this is what the Yankees should do, and as much as everybody always wants the Yankees to do. The Yankees are much better of a team right now.
In times like these, when you're mediocre at best, Yankees are 5-5 in the last 10 games and have lost some pretty demoralized, just
close games that you could
close
win
games
and
that are.
Lose.
You need people like Waldo or Bader or, Volpe on your team that continue to smile. Maybe not Volpe so much as he's a rookie, but you need these type of players that, Rizzo, even though, maybe not as much currently because he's down, but he still finds ways to keep things light or, so those Nestor's, kind of people are happy. Yeah. Nestor's good. People like that are important. And those people might not always be your superstars. They're usually not. Yeah. So, and any of the ones that we mentioned, Rizzo's really the only superstar of them. And right now he's not hitting like it. But anyway, but yeah, those kind of people are really important for club chemistry, and the Rays have a lot of it. And so do the Rangers, and
the Padres have a lot of animosity still, because a lot of the team still has not forgiven. I mean, I haven't heard specifically of that, but if we go back to last year when Tatis was suspended after, he had a stupid injury to begin the year where he's doing, I think, a wheelie on a motorcycle or doing something, maybe not a
broke
wheelie,
his
but
wrist.
Broke his wrist on a motorcycle, and And then he gets
then
suspended
gets
for PED
suspended.
use. And there's
And
a
like
lot of
Machado
players
called him
within that.
childish or something, right? Or somebody did. I don't remember who, but I mean, so there's
Machado
probably
said something, but I think Clevenger, who's the one who beats his
you're right.
girlfriend,
Yeah,
is the
you're
one who
right.
called him
Sorry.
childish, which was kind of ironic
Mm-hmm.
for him to do that. But still, the Padres they don't have a lot of team chemistry,
Yeah.
and so that's
It's important.
shows that just because you buy a bunch of stars, you buy a big payroll. I mean, the Mets, look at the Mets; they're the similar position.
True.
We do split the
Spend,
series
spend,
there,
spend.
but they spend. They've got a lot of big
I mean,
stars.
Scherzer got rocked. I mean,
yeah.
like, I mean, he's
Verlander
been. It's
finally
kind of
had a good game.
Yeah,
but he's been
I
off
suspected.
This year.
Yeah, he's been off, but anytime he plays the Yankees, I just suspected it was kind of going to go the way it did. But yeah. So yeah, just because you spend a lot of money, that's the point. Doesn't mean you are winning a World Series.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that
but
does
I
it
will
for
say real quick when it comes to the Rays and Moneyball. Sorry, just to finish this off. It's something that I do believe is you need a mixture of both because no teams that play like the Rays do, that they do have that small payroll and they play Moneyball style where they're just looking at statistics and how team chemistry matches up. I think the Rays do it better than anybody else does, but still no team that has been Moneyball style, I think, has actually won a World Series outside
Yeah,
of
that's true.
like
It takes a
the Red
balance.
Sox who balance both. I think the Red
right.
Sox were the best team, and I hate to say this, but
I was
going to
say, as much as it hurts,
they're a team that knew how to spend money. Maybe not as much as the Yankees or Dodgers would, but they knew how to spend the money in the right places, and then in all those smaller places where they, where all the money went to these
wherever
positions,
they needed to
so
plug
wherever
it,
the positions that needed to be plugged in, they used the Moneyball tactic there, and I think that's the best way to win.
Yeah, I mean, like most things in
style.
life, you shouldn't do all in on one thing. Like
one thing or the other.
A balance is the best way to do it. And yeah, unfortunately, as much as it hurts, the Red Sox did figure out a way to
did it the best at that time.
Do that.
So anyway, that's it for the power rankings. I think outside of because sometimes we're not just damn Yanks, we're damn Gators. College
That's right.
World Series is going on, and I think Megan, you actually went to a game.
Yeah, I went to the Super Regional game on Saturday, and it was really fun. I watched Waldrop pitch into the 9th inning, which was the first time he'd done that all season, and he had like 13 strikeouts. They played South Carolina Gamecocks, and it was a pretty good series. We won both of them. What'd you say?
Majestic creatures, the Gamecock.
Majestic creatures, yes. Mm-hmm. Well, and what made that win so much sweeter too is that earlier in the season, the Gators went to South Carolina regular season and got swept out there. They were on a huge tear. Everything, vibes were super high. They were never going to lose a game. At least that's what I felt like leading up to that series. And then they just got their asses just handed to them by South Carolina. And so I was a little nervous with them coming in, but they beat them in a 3-game set. They beat them, third game wasn't necessary. They beat them 2-0. And they are on they're in Omaha right now. So
that's coming up. Who are they playing?
They will be playing Virginia Tech, who beat Duke like 12-2 or something in their game 2 on the Super Regionals. So I'm a little nervous about that. Yeah. So, but they're in the final 8, they're, Elite 8 kind of thing is, once you make it out to Omaha, that's how many are left. And then they start pool play. So they'll, kind of double elimination or if you lose a game, you go through the loser's bracket before you get kicked out. And then they determine the final 4 and the World Series. So I'm excited. It starts Friday, actually. When this comes out, it'll be. I think Gators play at 7:00 Friday, the 16th. Tomorrow. Yeah, on the 16th.
So,
yeah.
Well, I think having a little quick damn Gators session is a good way to close us out. Definitely hit the like and subscribe buttons and follow buttons on whatever you follow us on, because we're not only going to be having another podcast where we go over the Yankees, but we're going to be having over this summer, we're going to be doing some fun little podcasts for
more like react
just
kind
random
of
things where
things
we
to
can,
baseball
like our
stuff.
React one. And,
Yeah, remember we did a
talk
React
about-
episode way back when?
Beginning of the season. Yeah, things
we'll
have been
be-
busy.
If you haven't seen it, get onto Spotify or YouTube and go back and watch that one. But we're going to do more videos like that where it's a little bit more
React
fun.
won't
It's
be
not
on
just-
React won't be on Spotify.
Okay, so then on YouTube.
Yes.
And it's just like I said, just some fun videos that we're not necessarily talking about specific Yankee stuff, just some fun things around the league where maybe get a guest appearance from my fiance on one of these. And so definitely be looking for those. So you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at damnyanks_pod and on Facebook at damnyankspod. And so till next time, see ya.
All right. See ya.